Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like YouTube, Rumble, Twitch is going. Give me a moment to turn on my live chat windows. What's this? Just a follower. Looks like everything's booting on up. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. So let's go ahead. Let me adjust my microphone, and let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the left side is the red grot, we got large_nuggets. Spawn on the bottom right side is the blue grayfield, got Slavodon. Though I did say left and right, or top and bottom, but it's also a bit like the, what's it called, Cossack Final, where you got stuff in between as well. Primarily basically take time to catch a seaport. This appears to be well, it is a naval map. Good number of seaports. I have no idea how this is going to go. Got a pair of comm towers over here, cities up north, cities in the center. And additionally, something I want to point out as well, when it comes to seaports, there's only one tile that's blue water to exit, while all the others are shore. These ones, there's blue water here, so you can exit throughout this way, while this is shores here, so can't exit out through that way. Or got temporary ports outside of the potential seaport you could capture. I have no idea how this is going to go, so let's go. Oh, Pod Dr. COs. Gratch is, of course, a custom CO. Standard boarding cost 0 raise 20, 50, 50. All units get plus 10, plus 10. Our COs, all units in our CO zone get plus 1 max range if they start their turn there. When it comes to our superpower, plus 2 max range for all units. Grayfield, of course, has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart. 30% burning cost of 3, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 10. Naval units, seaplanes, and battlecopters get plus 10, plus 40% offense. So he loads himself in a naval unit, he will get plus 50% offense. Or in a battlecopter, you get weight and level defense to your battlecopters. For his superpower, there's a big part where he got buffed. Got, of course, still applies a plus 10, plus 10. It recovers all fuel, ammo, and materials. For all units, naval units get plus 10, plus 40. Temporary reports and temporary seaports can deploy unweighted units, including seaplanes. So let's get started. This is a naval fog of war map. I have no idea how this is going to go. Oh, that temporary seaport provides a lot of vision range. Did temporary structures like that used to provide that much range? I thought they were pretty blind, but I guess temporary seaports see quite a distance. Excuse me. It's probably going to be a lot of gunboat play. The small enclave islands are probably going to be captured first. One seaport, though it does have a temporary seaport there. Temporary seaports do provide hiding for naval units as well as ground units. With another couple of cities there, so artillery could be a good way to help cover this inlet. But I think a lander with a ground invasion here wouldn't be half bad. With one base here, can be overwhelmed by, one base. It's all one base. We do have an artillery piece there, which can show the base there. It's also not hiding, so you may want to get on top of this forest. Does not move top forest. Got another artillery and gunboat. This is interesting. A lot of gun. Oh, battleship. Wait, is this some sort of increased funding map? I have not been paying attention to the monies. But that's a very early battleship, so blue may have saved a lot of money, so red didn't go for a large number of artillery. Just gotta keep an eye on a capture. Got one capture right now, 12,000. Nukes that unit there. Listen, nope. He saved up his funds, sealed a battleship, and now we got a flagship by Grayfield already. And this temporary seaport is going to be a good spot to push from. We do have a bit of a naval landing there. It does have multiple infantry units nearby. I don't think artillery was a good idea. This needs a full lander to get it moving, and that's not providing good coverage there. You don't have to capture there. There's a good number of infantry on the here. A simple recon would be enough to intercept. Got a simple recon up here. Does go for recon there. Very nice. Does provide some coverage, but not a whole lot. Does get trapped there. Got flare and a loaded gunboat. Recon does not spot the flagship at the moment. It's in the sea reef, but it is in range of that same flagship as well. Might as well shell the recon, I would say. Nukes that recon there. Hits that infantry quite a bit. And that one as well did enter a forest, but was safe enough there. Goes for an artillery piece up there. And gunboats are blocking there. Artillery can easily displace that. And this recon does get shelled by the artillery pieces, so it was useful, but it was a very late start there. Red is right now just storming this island with infantry. Maybe more recons could be quite nice. May set up the artillery to shell some infantry, but will be in range of said infantry. Loads of 1 health infantry inside the gunboat. Don't think that's a good idea. Recon needs to take out the 1 health infantry in there. Shells the recon there. Looks like the flare is in range of that base. Recon there. Artillery technically will be in range of infantry. The gunboat just needs to get off of it. Another recon up here. Gunboat strikes gunboat. Takes out the gunboat there, but of course both of those gunboats are out of ammo, and the flagship will get some good power charge going. Decides to capture both properties, shell this one, and finish off this one. This has 15 capture progress remaining. Strikes that infantry unit there, takes out that infantry unit there, hits that infantry unit. Recon takes out that capturing infantry unit there. Flare over here, drops off infantry. Gunboat strikes gunboat, gunboat strikes gunboat. All the gunboats are out of ammos. My apologies for my drink open up. Grad's not load up a unit into a CO unit. Merges the gunboats together. Protocol, I cut them separate. Then have the one fire, then merge with the other one to get some ammo replenished and both some health. If you ever have a tank here, we'll attack that gunboat there. Drops some infantry there. Takes out that unit there. Does strike the tank. Artillery strikes mech. Finish off mech. Finish off infantry. It's infantry. Goes for infantry unit there. See, infantry, flare. Just see a lot of gunboats. This gunboat could actually be knocked out. Does take out the gunboat loaded with infantry unit there. You gotta be careful when pushing forward the gunboat loaded something. You just want to make sure it doesn't die. And in that case, it was not successful of not dying. Artillery piece on the field. Battleships are getting low on ammo. 2 ammo remaining. A lander mech. Recon hits infantry unit there. Does take out infantry unit there with the infantry unit. It's the employs something out from the at the seaport. There's a lot of free shots there. Goes for gunboat, gunboat. Maybe he needs to start going eyeing for a lander down here or over here. Save 5,000 monies. Maybe eyeing for a battleship in this region. There are no airports on this map, so seaplanes are the only air units. And Greyfield can always go for a temporary airport and ambush spawn seaplanes. Though there could be arguments for other units, like battlecopters. Actually, battlecopters wouldn't be half bad. They're able to hit everything. Battleship could be shelled by this artillery piece. Not sure if this battleship can one-shot artillery. Gets pretty close there, but needs to. It has 1 ammo remaining, so may want to start finding an area where it can resupply either way. Does spot the artillery up there. Greyfields now has a superpower available. Does get trapped there. It does manage to capture this seaport as well. Tank there. If the battleship, the flagship, makes its way to the seaport, then they can start shelling everything nearby. This could be a great spot for a aircraft carrier. Interrupts the capture. Grabs a medium tank that's CO'd. Flagship needs to get back to port. It's out of ammo as well. Red is still advancing with infantry all across the line. Artillery is of course not spotted. Actually low on ammo as well, surprisingly. It's the artillery. Somehow the infantry unit did not put any damage to the artillery, surprisingly enough. 16,000 for 21,000. Grat's done a good job catching islands. Now, Greyfield can start capturing some of these islands up here to get that income. Double battleship here. Starting to get a fleet of them. The gunboat does get on top of the port there. Mech is a little bit outgunned. The tank can hit the artillery and then put a recon there. Does get trapped there. Wait. Oh, that's. I was wondering how that got trapped. He was trying to dismount an infantry gun, and that's what got trapped. I was a bit confused at first, like, wait, how did that get trapped? That's his own gunboat. But the dismount got trapped. Goes for a regular tank up there. Gets a shot there. And thing as well, in order to dismount this infantry unit there, he can block it right there, and then you have to delete the other gunboat to dismount the infantry unit there. Yep. Now, in order to dismount his infantry, he has to delete this gunboat. Wait, no. The gunboat could just simply go up north. There's that's shore there. Never mind, it's not trapped. But would exfiltrate the temporary seaport there so he can deploy out a ship. Or just dismounts it immediately like that. Never mind. So a 3 health gunboat there can easily be displaced by a tank, and then can pop the superpower and start going for some stuff. Strikes the rocket and artillery there. Takes out that infantry unit there. I think he needs to get a battleship over here or something. Another gunboat there just occupies a spot and recon there. Not sure how feasible it is for Blue to get a temporary airport up here, but an ambush spawn of battlecopters could be very nice. Rocket does strike the flagship for 1 point of damage. Blair's constantly firing away there. Lots of picks up there. Infantry. Takes up the rocket, takes up the artillery. Starting to flip some of these central islands. Very nice. This one is occupied slightly. Does get trapped there. Gunboat has ammo, just low on fuel. Lots of mechs there. Infantry will be a good counter. The problem is it's just one base versus these tide of mechs coming from 2 bases. $26,000. It looks like, oh, I just realized something as well. Grad actually managed to capture both comm towers down here. This infantry unit can intercept, though. $32,000. She may be going for something expensive this turn. Does get trapped. This gunboat here may trap something. Just as I thought. Dismounts the mech there, rather than trying to pick off that gunboat. Interrupts that capture. Frees the base there, goes for a tank. More mechs. And hits that infantry unit there. A lot of veteran forces up here. This gunboat can take a free shot there. This gunboat has no ammo. Might as well go for that shot. Yes, he does. See, infantry. Saves up 5,000 funds. We do have a cruiser now in the field, which is good at spotting and coursing out aircraft. Can take out subs, but there haven't been any. We've got a couple more gunboats, more infantry, more mechs. Gunboat strikes the cruiser. Took more damage in return though, but probably cost effective. Some of these ships over here are starting to run low on ammo. Flagship's down to 1 ammo. This battleship's actually down to 0 ammo. There's a tank there. This tank will have to interrupt one of these captures, but looks like blue will be capturing this island. Or red is still having trouble maintaining this, or even capturing this island. A lot of veteran infantry forces. Interrupts that unit there and there. A joint capture between the two is probably going to be in order, but... And also... two of these ships are actually out of ammo. Only one ship has ammo remaining. So maybe need a machine gun down the tank. It's that gunboat there. Since infantry unit up north only captures one property there. Strikes the cruiser again. Cruiser slowly being knocked out. This battleship's out of ammo along the flagship. Gets trapped there. Mech, infantry, gunboat, cruiser. Pop superpower. Let's keep an eye on any ambush spawns. Of course, he is now plus 20, plus 50 global, so his ships are going to be quite resilient. Seaport is reoccupied. I'm pretty sure the ambush spawns only apply to temporary seaports. Yep, lander does not get automatically built there, so just pretty much just a naval play. Let's look at the mech there. Ends turn of 184 versus 57. Grotz getting very far behind. Income is right now 19 for 20,000. Grotz hardly used any CO unit capability. That may have been one of her issues, but this is not really a map for her. Her ability to increase the range of units, including direct units. Ooh, gets trapped there. It doesn't really matter too much with battleships, since they can move and shoot in the same turn. It's really not that important for battleships. And gunboats only have one shot, so that's not exactly great. She would have to go for an early submarine and start picking off ships of stealthily to start taking out ships. But that simply did not happen in this case. Yeah, she probably should have gone for a submarine. How much do submarines cost? 20,000. I think that's still, or yeah, I think that's the same as previous game. So they're not cheap. A good number of these gunboats are actually out of ammo. Granted, Greyfield's superpower can resupply it, but he's currently 60 energies away from getting a superpower, so not going to happen. He has 3 energy there, and another 9 energy there. Now we've got a battleship over here as well. I have a feeling the game is pretty much set for Greyfield. He's captured more properties. Now he's able to capture calm towers down south, with something that Grat was using quite nicely. I don't think Grot's mech spam was very successful up here. Greyfield countered the mechs with infantry, which is great. A lot of Greyfield ships are getting low on ammo once again. He actually needs a superpower just for the resupply. Way to buff Greyfield. You give him a cheap power just to resupply materials, ammo, fuel to everything. And provide maybe at most +10/+10 global. But even that, maybe not. Call it naval logistics. I actually don't know the name of the powers and superpowers, all the COs on top of my head. Even the base game. Does spot the gunboat there. The gunboat's now locked into the harbor. Of course, artillery is nearby to open it up a little bit. Grat should seal her sub. Did not seal the sub. Of course, Greyfield does not have any cruisers on the field for... No, he does have a cruiser now. But you can just throw gunboats there to stop the sub from escaping. Rocket deployed on the field help lock the northern sectors down. CO's the submarine now can actually one-shot 3-starred gunboats. Probably a good idea for Grat to send her submarine to shoot that cruiser at max range. Greyfield does have enough stars for superpower and does confer an airfield. Only 1 point of damage though. I forgot they made the rock, paper, scissors counter system on naval much more stiff. Pop superpower. Built something. What it was, I'm not sure. Does not take the gunboat because of extra defense. Looks like carriers are starting to be loaded with seaplanes. Of course, Greyfield has his own submarine. I think he's... Oh, drops the infantry unit recon there. I thought he was going to try to bait the submarine forward to hit another target from this port there, causing it to run into this sub. Got a war tank now blowing the field. Seaplane going to be surrounding the war tank, or just alright taking it out. Gonna move the battleship forward to get some CO power there. Oh well. But the lander could pull back in order to trap the submarine forward. Since Gratpol has not seen that blue submarine, because it's not a yellow submarine, and captures the HQ and ends the game. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Next replay was one submitted to me. Just take this out one to the list before I forget about it. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on bottom right side is the blue gauge. We got average __ Joe, and so on top left side is the red Judy. We got Motimon. This replay was submitted to me, but I won't reveal who submitted to me until the end of the game, because it also gives an indication of who actually wins lose. Because most times people submit the replays in that they generally win. I always give props to those who submit replays who give or lose it as well. When it comes to COs, Judy's course of custom COs, reduced boarding cost, 3 Riddis, 0 expansion, 0 energy, unknown designer, and of course the one of the players of the community for the numerical setup. I think that's just referencing the design of what the CO is supposed to do. When it comes to the day-to-day, provides all units plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and of course 30% salvage, no power, no superpower. When it comes to Gauge has been buffed for the card's counterpart. It has standard boarding cost, 2 Riddis, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 20% defense. Indirect units and naval units get additional plus 20% offense. CO unit himself get additional 20% offense. So if you load himself up into a tank, he gets just simply plus 30, plus 20. No, plus 30, yeah. Plus 30, plus 20. If he loads himself up into an artillery piece, he gets additional plus 50, plus 20%. So, he is more specialized for, of course, indirects, but his CO unit's still pretty good. When it comes to superpower, provides all of that global. All CO units get that plus 20% offense, and all indirect units get plus 2 max range. So, let's get started. This map does have a strong side, weak side mechanic. You got the weak side, which is only one base, and your HQ. Strong side has 2 bases. You also got an airport, which is technically on the weak side, but can easily go to the strong side no problem just by going north and or south of the winter. Additionally, both players do start with aircraft carrier, primarily just so you get access to seaplanes. And a temporary airport to keep that thing supported for your supply. If you finally get a seal with global damage, make sure you pull the aircraft carrier off the seaport there, so it doesn't have to worry about any sort of attrition repairs. Does boost the infantry unit there from the gunboat. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. With a little bit of micro, you can also boost mechs forward to the same distance for the first turn. Just gotta move the gunboat. Bike infantry, and does weight the aircraft carrier, you monster. Infantry, and bikes. So, got some bikes being deployed in the field with both sides. More infantry, more bikes. There's also a pair of compounds in the corners, which are contestable, though they're pretty safe for one player or another, but if you fail in defense, your opponent will seize it. Judy has 10,000 funds, so maybe tank infantry. We got tank infantry. First gauge in here probably next turn, and then second one will be the bike retaliating. Another tank. 14,000 income versus 12,000 income. CO's tank. Got an artillery piece, infantry. So gauge for now is 2 artillery pieces. You're just going for a healthy number of tanks. It's the bike there, out of range the artillery. But the artillery can at least range the city there, so it can interrupt any captures. Maybe good idea to push the artillery to the woods here, but of course it'd be a little bit exposed. Ruins only provide 1-star defense, like planes. They're effectively a plane you can hide on. Which I always find weird. I always thought the ruins should be 2-star defense of match cities. But that is simply not the case. Tank infantry. Bike does get hit. Hits bike again. Hits infantry. Gain a lot of salvage here. It gauges tank there. It's another infantry unit there, so Gauge is seeing a lot of free hits there. Recon, anti-air, waits carrier, you monster. Tank. With enough salvage, able to squeeze out a third tank this last turn. Battlecopter, infantry, and anti-air. Recon spots the infantry. The artillery is of course nice and safe and hid in the woods. Spots the artillery a little bit too late now. We'll be able to shell that infantry no problem, while the other infantry just gets gunned down by the bike and infantry. Judy does pull back her tanks. Now got a nice core of tanks here and a full artillery or rocket there. Oh, I thought the bike's going to strike that infantry in there. It's simply not the case. The recon will get a good shot onto that artillery along with the infantry unit there. Tank battlecopter, artillery, and commit space skip. Yeah, I guess this infantry will not be struck. I thought that infantry unit would be struck. Spots the bike. And it looks like the artillery does not get struck this turn. Thought it would. Units pushing way forward. Anti-air, battlecopter, infantry, and recon. Battlecopter sitting up north. We do have anti-air here. And of course battlecopter as well, so there's a proper counter to said battlecopters. Tank here and on top of the HQ, artillery in the woods. Trying to capture the temporary seaport, you monster. Tank, mech, flare, and battlecopter. T-copter pursuing infantry unit forward. At this rate, Blue may need to get out of Flare up here. His command tank has been fully repaired. And good amount of injuries so far, 41. The rocket he does have vision of. If the artillery is in range of the rocket with a superpower, he will have range for the rocket in return. Engage is getting pretty close to superpower. If Red pushes forward, Blue may be able to deploy out his superpower. Deletes that unit, I'm not sure what was there. Get some good hits there. It hits one of the artillery pieces. Battlecopter 4, tank goes down. Spots the anti-air. There's another infantry unit there. Gage can deploy his superpower next turn. He just needs to generate 18 energies. $161 versus 142, so Judy's about a full turn ahead. So it's going to be no superpower this turn. Gets some good hits there. Takes the battlecopter while added. Battlecopter hits the tank. Tank hits tank. Artillery hits tank. Battlecopter hits tank. Just going to be sacking on the battlecopters to get some good momentum. Battlecopter, tank, mech, and infantry. 161 versus 156. There's that one. The battlecopter hits the tank. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Gage has anti-air in range of the battlecopter, so need a bit of a clear path. Rocket's down to ammo as well. Anti-air will strike the infantry in there, but does get range of artillery. Hits the bike there. Tank hits tank. Tank finish off tank. A lot of targets from that artillery, but there's not enough front line for it. Gage may want to pop the superpower. So one way that will probably knock the anti-air there, allowing the battlecopter for reign supreme over here. I think, yeah, it should focus on the anti-air, so the battlecopter can just take over. Over here, rockets in range of a tank, that's about it. Does not go the superpower. It's the battlecopter there. Does hit a tank there, not the anti-air. I disagree with that. It's off that tank, Judy's command tank there. Another battlecopter, infantry, and something. Tank. Tank, flare, and recon. Really raining on in. Looks like it's going to be no superpower this turn. Takes out the anti-air. Wooden anti-air falls back. Wooden tank falls back. Tank gets the woods. Goes from mech near the T-copter. Does not hit the anti-air, so now this battlecopter will be going down. Definitely should have trucked the battlecopter for the anti-air last time. Flare takes out the artillery. We have a medium tank down south. We got the Duster heading down south as well. And this rocket's down to 0 ammo. Goes for a rig. Ready to rig the game. infantry, anti-air, battlecopter, and of course the rig. There's the recon down there. Anti-air infantry tank. Battlecopter hits the mech. Battlecopter hits artillery, takes out the mech there. Rocket's now in range of the medium tank down south. Tank, mech, and flare. Does pop the superpower, takes out the anti-air. That rocket is still in range of that medium tank. Gets the tank there. HQ, of course, is starting to be captured there, but another 2 more turns. Mech or artillery does get a shot there. Not super powerful superpower this last turn. It also does take out the battlecopter. Anti-air will be at 9 health, the other one's at full health, so should be able to get some good work done. Battlecopters hit artillery, a lot of aircraft from those anti-airs. And that should give Gage some good power charge going. Rocket hits the medium tank, it sends infantry into the medium tank. Seaplane, I didn't see that being built. You now have battlecopter, bike, tank. Takes out one of the battlecopters. Takes on another battlecopter. So that unit there. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. And Gage already up to 37 energy. Tank strikes tank, tank strikes tank, medium tank strikes infantry, but now in range of the rocket. Infantry in medium tank. Right now we've got 20,000 versus 24,000, 130 versus 182. So Drew's in a pretty good position right now. Sacks the recon there, hits the infantry or mech thrice. Hits the anti-air, hits the anti-air. Duster takes out battlecopter, flare takes out anti-air. Also a bit of a clean sweep up north. Seaplane advancing, trying to get respied by the rig. Clippers airport's on the way. Getting swarmed by these regular tanks there, and the rockets in range, able to zone up the medium tank that's going to come out, but going to pop out. I think I just saw another seaplane got queued on up. And Gage does resign there. There's Angrid saying, keep watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see now. Yeah, this will do. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Daisy Ruin Tiny Wars replay. As well as spawn south side as the dark gray Tasha. We got Ari32 spawn north side as the green Hawk. We got Sylar SK. Of course, Hawk is technically a custom CO, standard boarding cost to 30, 70, 120 with a maximum energy of 120. All units get plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense. All units get plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, 1 health recovered, minus 1 damage to all enemies, and of course plus 2 health, minus 2, costing 100 energy rather than 420, so you can save some leftover, and 50 energy as well. Tasha's course has been buffed, and the cartridge counterpart has standard boarding cost, only 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 10. All areas get additional plus 4% offense, plus 4% defense, and plus 2 movement. So her aircraft can really reach very far. All units get plus 10, plus 10, plus 40, plus 20, and plus 4 movement. So that's a surgical strike. Let's get started. This map is a 3-base map, or technically 2 airports, 1 temporary airport you already have secured. That's the standard capturing right now, nothing too crazy. Got multiple bikes already deployed in the field. Probably gonna be bike infantry this turn. Oh wait, doesn't have the other base captures yet, just bike infantry. Could've gone for double bike there. Tasha has 7,000 funds, so she can't necessarily go for triple bike. Bike infantry. Next turn she'll have over 10,000 funds, which means she can go for tank infantry. Hawk right now has 9,000 funds. Tank infantry may seal that said tank. Tasha may just wait to load herself up into a battlecopter and before eyeing to load herself up to a tank. Infantry, artillery infantry. Hawk does load himself up to a tank. Infantry bike. Tank mech infantry. There's also some temporary airports scored away in the corners for you to secure. Anti-air and commit space skip. Tasha right now has 15,000 funds saved on up, but currently has no aircraft deployed on the field. Is she going for a battlecopter this turn? Nope, double tank infantry. No battlecopter yet. I should also mention there's also another temporary airport scored away here as well, so plenty of temporary airports for both players to utilize. Tasha right now has 17,000 funds on the income, and funds stored on up. Tank infantry, no CO unit just yet. I'm just waiting for her to get a CO unit. Takes up the bike there, trying to flip that property. Does put the unit on top of the radar station. It is in fact a bike. We do have now battlecopter by Hawk this time. Interrupts that captured there. Down south does hit the bike twice, though this property will be captured. Nothing there to spot it. Natasha finally goes for a battlecopter. Infantry, tank, and infantry. Hawk has some anti-airs in the field. Hawk also has 39 energy. But we do have now a pair of tanks ready to push forward, able to hit the anti-air and the command tank. Maybe a good idea to just strike the command tank twice. That's probably the best way to go, and just reset the power charge. Tasha's probably going to seal this battlecopter. Seals the battlecopter. Hits the anti-air twice. Hawk should know what that means immediately. He knows now there's going to be battlecopter going that way. Or Tasha can simply not send battlecopter that way to cause an overreaction. She does send the battlecopter towards that direction. Anti-air, tank, and infantry. Hits that tank there twice, but Hawk does have two tanks nearby to help hit that tank, plus some infantry units to throw some machine gun rounds into it. Tank, tank, tank. Tasha takes out the command tank there, no problem. That battlecopter is very lethal at the moment. In total right now, it's providing plus 70, plus 50. Hits the bike there. Hits the infantry twice. Tank. Anti-air and infantry. Still just only one battlecopter in the field. So next turn she will have up. She has 20,000 funds right now sorted up, so she can't afford a bomber each turn. Next turn she can go for bomber and triple infantry if she so chooses. Anti-air is rotating towards the center of the map, trying to pursue that battlecopter. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. Merge the infantry in there. Bike may be able to take out that one health infantry. Hawker now has 24,000 income versus 20,000. Moves the battlecopter over here. Artillery red shell provides some fire support for the frontline troops, but green has two artillery pieces over here, one in range of the mech, and an infantry. Bike, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Gets that tank there. Tank hits the artillery, keeps other anti-air in reserve so it can pass ambush the command copter. Good gains over on the right side. Tank, anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Join captures. Hits the battlecopter, hits the anti-air twice. Command copter gets a good shot there. Spots that anti at the wrong moment. Hawk's now at 31 MG. Hits the command copter twice, knocking it out. No other copter on a airport. medium tank, artillery. Tasha starts with 95, 5,000. Hawk rate had 107, but that's being called down. So Tasha still has superior forces in the field. Does strike Hawk's tank there quite nicely. Tank, bike, and infantry. Hawk's getting a good amount of power charge there. Has enough for a black wave next turn. It may be able to pull it out. We do have this 4 health infantry or 3 health infantry can go down. Probably try to interrupt with a tank and infantry. So that's about it what Hawk can do. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. Does not take out that tank there, but needed it for spotting. Seals the battlecopter. Anti-air, tank, infantry. And looks like Tasha's overall just gonna brave the storm or the wave. Gets much power charge before popping the superpower or the regular power. Up to 70 energy at the moment. Pops the power. Some good picks in center. Tasha's turn. Hawk ends the turn 129. Tasha starts the turn 75. She's getting pretty far behind. Gets up that battlecopter. Gets that tank, but will be in range of the artillery. Tank, infantry. And Hawk's making excellent grounds in the center of the map. Let's get some good picks over here. It's a tank there. Duster, bike, and bike. Takes out tank there, hits the infantry unit there. Anti-air, bike, infantry, and battlecopter. Battlecopter's probably going to be another CO unit. Hawk still has a 4,000 income lead, which is quite nice. Big difference is these two cities are both in his control. Hits the artillery there. Does have some anti-airs over here, so the 3 health artillery can probably take the 2 health anti-air. Then this tank can push forward, hit the 5 health tank. While the CO battlecopter can hit the battlecopter. Phone's ringing, probably another spam call. Hitting the don't pick up took like a long time for it to stop actually ringing. Don't know what happened there. Either way, just more spam calls. I've been getting a whole bunch of them. Anti-air, tank, and infantry. Hits the battlecopter there. Medium tank, and infantry. Tosh is down to 55, while Hawk's at 134. Hits the Duster quite nicely. Of course, nearby battlecopter in the region. That battlecopter won't last very long, plus that 5 health. Battlecopter tank infantry, so it has another replacement battlecopter for the CO unit. Hawks at 49 energy, just need one more energy for his superpower, or power. Because of that command copter there. Hawk could have actually left it alive with 1 health, preventing it from dying to delay the redeployment of the CO unit. Battlecopter, infantry. There's a Duster there, seals the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter. There's some extra energy there, 12 energy. Everything's out of range of the artillery, so no power for Hawk. Now has enough for power. Artillery takes up the E tier. E tier to strike the command copter there. Lost power at the end of the turn, which probably could have popped earlier to get a plus from some offense global. Interrupts to capture the HQ. Does have another infantry unit nearby to get a joint capture going. A lot of targets in front of Hawk's command tank there. Not too many units to give him power charge. Another Duster. HQ capture has 4 progress remaining. And there's only, it looks like 1 tower to be struck by. So it looks like it's going to be HQ capture next turn. Tank, mech. And not enough capture progress there, so there's going to be HQ capture next turn. And that is the end of the game. This is Angrid saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Right now I'm sort of getting a little bit exhausted. I probably have enough in me for one more replay tonight. I don't know why, I'm just tired. So let's try to find a good one. For 7 turns. Also 27 turns. Oh yeah, it has that name I was sort of curious about. 9 turns. More actions though. So yeah, let's do this one here, because it's more actions, even though it's a little bit less turns. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars. These are in Tiny Wars replays. Well, on the bottom left side as the dark gray Penny, we have a 4 name spawn. Top right side as the pink Judy, we've got Bench Warmer 2. Main Sportsman buff from the cartridge counterpart, has center boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units are not affected by weather, all units get plus 15 in the CO zone. Random units, of course, provides 3 turns of random weather. When it comes to Judy, Judy is a custom seal, reduced boarding cost, 3 radius, 0 expansion, 0 energy. Provides all units plus 20% offense, plus 100 defense, and get 3% salvage. Nice and simple. No power nor superpower. This map is a 3 base map, 1 airport, pair of comm towers, but they're pretty secureable. I don't think I've ever seen them get flipped and hung on the game, or made a big difference. So it's generally pretty secureable. If the contract goes down, the player's probably already lost the game. Early capture game, nothing too crazy at the moment. Got some bikes now this turn. And spent all of our monies precisely, so that's good. Judy has 6,000, so apply bike, infantry. Infantry on the strong side, bike on the weak side. Bike. So it looks like Penny's going for a slower capture order for the bases, but in order to get more bikes out still. Using her money, but we'll simply have less units in the field. Bike infantry. 13 units versus 10 units in comparison. Got tank, infantry, and commits base skip. Bike, infantry, and another bike. Penny of course can seal the tank this turn, or could just go for more tanks. Does seal the tank there. Can also go for another tank and commit another base skip. Bike, infantry, bike. Judy now has a tank, so she's probably going to be sealing this tank up here, while Penny has just gotten 2 more tanks and a bike. So Penny has going to have a good core of tanks. Does not seal the tank there, but can buzz park on top of HQ, so it can be sealed there next turn. Tank infantry. And another tank infantry. My mind's completely melted right now. Does hit the infantry unit twice, giving Penny 2 energies. Takes out infantry unit there. And 20 energy now available for Penny. And a lot of targets in front of her. Target-rich environment. Only 1 tank on this flank, so she can be nice and fine. But we have more tanks on both sides. Tank, bike, tank. Does give a good strike there on that bike there. Getting a decent amount of salvage. Penny's reinforcing tanks is still a bit far away. Got tank, artillery, and tank. Tank. And Penny does pull back a command tank. It's the bike there. Thanks to Penny's extra defense, the bike survives, but barely, and not greatly. Penny right now has 23 energy. There's a lot of targets in front of her. Wonder if it'd be safe enough for her to push forward and try to get some kills. Pop her superpower. Pulls back her tank there. Strikes the capturing squad. Does take it out. 33 energy. There's another hit there. Brings in tanks there. Takes another one there. 43 energy. And Penny's now grouping up her formation of tanks. And with the bikes in front, it's going to be difficult to strike her tank from multiple angles at least. Now I've got a battlecopter, tank, infantry, and bike. Anti-air and war tank. You can say has enough monies for another infantry. Penny can't deploy out her. Actually, no. I was going to say Penny could have deployed out her superpower this turn. She had multiple targets, enough energy to actually claim it. Decides not to go for it. Does go for a safe pick there though. Down to 7 energy. When it comes to weather, I always say rain is very powerful in non-fog of war games. It's more or less like the opponent has flare. You completely blind your opponent. Additionally, sandstorm is very effective because minus 30% offense for 3 turns is just crippling. And minus 1 movement range. This map is quite large, so minus 1 movement range will also hurt as well. Penny is a bit of a snowball CO, where if she can just start chaining superpowers and just cripple your opponent. She's an A-tier CO, in my opinion. War tank, artillery, infantry. This is probably the most amount of war tanks I've seen in a long time as well. This map is high income. We've got 26,000 plus 25,000 income. And 1 despicable neutral property left in the field. And there's Penny now can pull out a superpower. Found a target off the side and able to generate it. Judy's gotta be careful. She has to make a decision next turn. Push forward or be defensive and try to wait out the storm. There's an argument for both, I would say. Though I don't think she's in a good enough position to be aggressive. And look at all the tanks that Penny has. She has a nice core of tanks ready to blitz his way forward. And not to mention, the bomber gets deployed on the field before potentially any weather. Penny could start trying to secure this comm tower. Tank, battlecopter. Tank and infantry. Strikes the bike to interrupt the capture. Got a nice core of tanks from both sides. We turn in turn of 154,000 field. Penny starts to turn 146, so she's only slightly behind, but her superpower will just make it so she has a very good position. Got a rocket down south as well. No superpower, because after all, she still gets plus 15, and you don't have to really go for it. If you can't necessarily chain your superpowers together, just don't pop your superpower. She can sort of wait out the game a little bit. She's getting more income. She's starting to capture some of her opponent's properties. She can play the long game. Judy does not really have a proper counter to the bomber that's approaching. Trying to push forward with some of her units. Takes on a singular bike. 27,000 versus 24,000. That one prop is still despicably neutral. Anti-air infantry. Penny's trying to pull back a little bit there. It's hard to say how this game will go. And infantry, bike, rocket, and battlecopter. Another battlecopter. Anti-air infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Anti-air battlecopter, tank, and bike. Let's just got a bit of a stall fest going on. Does not interrupt that capture there. Left it at 91%, so just ever so slightly short. Both sides are getting the front lines set on up. Tank, infantry, bike, and battlecopter. So that unit along the flank. Battlecopter, infantry, and commits base skip. Another battle copter deployed in the field. So there's not much for me to say about this game. It's just mostly just both sides setting up anti-air artillery and bike. The rockets and the bombers can help range the no man's land. Penny, of course, still has her superpower, and not likely that Judy's will be able to strike that command tank taking it out. So we do have our rig on the field as well. It looks like Penny's probably gonna make the first move. I mentioned Penny right now has more income, so it's more likely she's going to pull out ahead either way. Penny's also trying to threaten this flank here. There's another 8 here. Battlecopter. Bike and rig. Penny's also at 50 units. That might be the unit cap depending on this map. I'm also not exactly sure. However, in big conflicts, Judy can get a lot of salvage. I don't know what weather would be good for Penny to deal with, or with Judy to deal with. Sandstorm probably will hurt the most. And with this, in the stall games, No Man's Land -1 movement range will hurt her quite a bit. And rain, it will just blind you. Sure, it has a number of units can make some passes, but still, that's not great. Because if it hits run up, it hits something, it can't see up behind it or next to or that thing it runs into. Tank battlecopter. Honestly, Judy should be eyeing for some flares just in case of rain. She probably should have been eyeing a couple flares just in case it rains, so she can have some spotting. Looks like the unit limit is not 50 on this map. Not sure there's anything I can do to pull up the war info. Yeah, I don't think there's anything about unit limits I can look up easily enough in they can do in Advanced Wars by Web. I can sort of creep her way forward. I get some properties. Battlecopter, anti-air, mech, and artillery. Rocket picks off an infantry unit. Something Penny's sort of lacking is anti-airs, though she does a good number of battlecopters to engage the battlecopters. The command tank's almost out of fuel. 25 fuel left on it. Recon, battlecopter, anti-air, tank. battlecopter, infantry, and tank. I don't know what to say at this moment in time. It's just getting both fronts are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He needs to get this rig over to the tank over here. It's probably go out of fuel. Looks like this battlecopter has 31 fuel. Arms rotating around. Looks like Penny realizes that most of the forces over here. If she's able to break through over here and claim the 2 bases, Judy is probably going to be knocked out of the game. She can perhaps prolong a fight over here of anti-tanks. But a balloon can only float in the air so long before it will pop. True. The reason also why a balloon pops in the air as well, as the balloon rises in the sky, there's less air pressure, thus is able to expand a bit more, stretching the balloon out even further, causing it to pop. If that makes any sense. I don't know what I'm thinking right now. My mind's already melted. It's a rocket there for a good amount of damage. Nice little pick. But everything nearby is going to die. Let's make the next turn that Penny may launch her CO power. Where we're going, we don't need a unit cap. Penny's at 6 units. Maybe that's the unit cap. I don't know what the unit cap is in. Nope, that's player profile. Yeah, I have no idea the unit cap is on this map. I don't know what that button even does. Most time I don't have to worry about unit caps in Tiny Wars. I think the big fight's going to happen next turn. Penny pops with power, gets rain. She doesn't have a fog board this turn, but her opponent will have no vision next turn. But if the front lines are smashed into each other, who knows what happens? As I mentioned before, and Judy should have gone for flares, just in case there's rain. A couple of flares just wouldn't hurt. And now she's going to be completely blind. Now I mentioned Penny does have additional +15/+15 global this turn. Bikes infantry just being used for defensive walls. It's probably not a bad idea if 2 front lines are going to collapse. Focus on having your disposable units as remaining as walls. A Darude Awakening, Darude Sandstorm would have been better though. I would think so. To be fair, I need the weather. It's going to be good. Because look at what's going to be like this next turn. Since also Penny did not push too far forward, look how little Judy's going to see the start of her next turn. She is blind. She could hardly see anything. So she will have to scout out these units before moving there. And plus, I don't know how well Judy's memory is, but it's probably not going to be that great. Though this tank here, her command tank's going to give her a lot of salvage. 29,000, just keep an eye on that. The salvage is the only thing that's going to keep her in. Looks like no more salvage. She did get up to 37,000, which is quite a bit. Goes for a battlecopter. Tanks, oh, Flare, war tank, very good. Flare. Does Sparkle need a turn to get forward and then has one turn to worry about it? Did Penny's command tank go down? I think it may have went down. It's hard for me to tell. Nope, it's way back here actually. 17 fuel, so probably should try to move this tank forward to get as much power charge going. Yep. Probably try to see this tank can move to right around here, so maybe move this anti-air out of the way, let the battlecopter take a strike there, and then push the tank forward. That's probably what I would do first. Anything to get that power charge collecting. Rock is a good way to start that. There we go. Now her CO zone is forward. She's going to get enough power charge for another CO power. There's a chain of anti-airs to take out a chain of battlecopters. She's already at 60 energy. She already got her CO power. It's not even halfway done with her turn. Though right now, Judy's command tank is in the thick of things, so she's going to get some good use of the salvage. She needs that. She's pretty far behind 303 versus 232, of course, a day-to-day, so just round it up to 260. So she's about 2 turns behind of funds, but she can probably generate that next turn. Bombers within melee range of the anti-airs. It's going to be a messy next turn, that's for sure. Anti-air, battlecopter, bike. Focus on generating as much salvage with her CO power, I'd say. Hits the bomber. They're getting some good kills there. Lots of good kills. Hits that bomber as well. Up to 49,000. Yep, she did get a bit of resupply. Definitely called out the values quite a bit, so it's now in favor of Judy by about 2 turns now. That salvage really came in handy. Now she's up to 277 versus 212. She can pop a superpower this turn. Maybe a good idea to sequester her command tank away after done with the aura. There's the battlecopter there, hits the anti-air. Rocket hits the anti-air. Decides to push forward for command tank. Don't think that was a good idea. She's lacking stuff to hit war tanks effectively, though her command tank is on top of 4, so there's 3 defense stars. So right now it has 40, 65. It's the battlecopter there. Recon puts around the battlecopter. Looks like they're down to day-to-day differences. Judy has to deal with 1 more turn of rain, which since everything was in melee range, she has not really needing to scout out too much. Does have a flare finally gets fired. So probably rain was the least, rain or snow, sandstorm probably would have been the best in the end. And the command tank may go down, playing tanks nearby. Let's take a Penny's tank there to not bring in more weather. That tank should not have been pushed forward. After done with the CO zone, should have been pulled back. Judy's trying to pull ahead. I thought Penny had this in the bag, but I think Penny made a couple mistakes, and not even Judy's power. The rain was probably the worst of the 3 weathers, honestly, now thinking about it. And with the, oh, and Penny does resign there. Yeah, I think Penny made a couple mistakes there, like not sequestering the command tank there after got a power charge. And Rain was definitely not that great. Probably would have been justified to even recycle the weather immediately upon getting power charge. Because right now, Sandstorm would have greatly nerfed Judy's capability to get Salvage. Salvage is what really did it, so I think Sandstorm would have been the best for her to get. Either way, this ain't a great scene. Thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And as I mentioned beforehand, that should be my last replay tonight.